Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk here, sponsored as always by Cram Chronicles Entertainment, Ink Shrinks Tattoo, The One Union, and Valhalla Combat Sports. TJ O'Connor here as always with my partner Damian Hill, joined by CJ Hayes, who has a fight this Friday night, May 31st at LFA 68. How you doing tonight, CJ?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing?
I'm pretty good.
Doing good. Ready for these fights Friday night.
Yeah, it's a stacked card. It's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, big fights.
Training with, and it's going to be fun to watch them display their skills. So.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. And so, I mean, a couple of our fans may be familiar just, with you from the local scene. But for those who aren't, how about a little bit of background as far as where do you train? How long have you been training and competing at this point?
Well, I train out of the Cellar out in St. Anthony, Minnesota under Chris and Ben and Mauricio Cara and Ryan, who's now in Thailand doing his thing for Muay Thai, coming back for TBAs and then probably going to make another trip back. But we got some world-class guys out there, world-class striking. Before that, I wrestled my whole life, wrestled through NCAA's D2 down at Ouachita Baptist down in Arkansas, transferred back up to Mankato. So I've been kind of at it for a long time, competition-wise in combat sports. But started training at the Cellar in 2016, started fighting in 2017, so...
Okay, yeah. You're from Arkansas. That's where my or not from Arkansas. You went to school out there?
Yep. Ouachita Baptist down in the Bible Belt.
Yeah, dude. All my family's from Arkansas. Every time I go down, every time I go down there, they always make fun of me saying, it's like you talk funny and say like my accent is weird. I'm like, what fucking accent? You guys talk weird.
They're always like boat, and you're like boat. And they're like, he said boat.
Yeah. That's dude. Okay, sorry. Let's get back to the fight. But dude, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you mentioned your background as far as competing in college, as far as wrestling. It seems like you had an idea of what you wanted to do as far as MMA by submersing yourself in such a strong kickboxing based gym.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling forever, you're never going to forget how to wrestle when you've done it as long as I have and at the levels that I have. And we still got good grapplers there, too. And I also go to Start BJJ out in St. Cloud and wrestle with those guys. Those guys are some animals out there, especially on the mat. So it's nice change of pace, though, developing my striking, because I'd be a fool to be like that wrestler that just, like, takes, like, a couple boxing fights or Muay Thai fights or whatever, and all of a sudden think I'm a striker, like magically. I have coaches and teammates that just keep me humble every day, and they're like, you're still learning, and that's what I love about it. So
I love how humble you are, because you mentioned how you're just learning your striking, but I mean, so far you're undefeated. Last year, 2018, the TBA regional champion, which is, I mean, one of the biggest tournaments around, if not in the country. So I'd say learning is an understatement at this point.
Yeah, that was a hell of a time winning that belt, man. Winning 4 fights in 3 days, and everybody in my bracket was tough as hell. Most of them were 6'5". Fighting at 195 at the time. And that bracket could have played out any way, but that weekend was my weekend, and if you played it out 10 different times, I'm sure it would have played out 10 different ways. But just luckily came out on top, just kind of stuck my nose to the game plan, stuck to the grind, and kind of just let my hard work do its talking. So
yeah, TJ mentioned the fact that you're undefeated in kickboxing, Muay Thai. I always group those two together. I don't like to offend anybody by calling one the wrong thing, but anyway, you're 0-1 in MMA, but I understand that, and I don't like to bring up guys' losses, like if I go up to somebody about a loss, like, how does it feel to be knocked out? Like, dude, I'll show you how it feels,
I understand.
But there was some complications that went down in that fight.
Yeah, that was my first fight, first MMA fight. first ever fight coming out of wrestling and stuff. And I was never a wrestler that really took care of myself. I wasn't like a regular in the trainer's room getting everything iced up and stemmed and everything like that. So I had some lingering old injuries, kind of slightly tore my hamstring in sophomore year of college, and just kind of had a little limp with it. I was like, that's just kind of what wrestlers get eventually, is a limp. So it was kind of like a bubble on a tire. Eventually, you can go 50,000 miles, and then it's going to pop eventually. And in that fight, I was doing pretty well. I already scored a takedown, already kind of busted him open on the side of his head, on the feet. And it was just with the overhand. Got praise to the overhand and all the and all the destruction it brings. But then I went for another takedown, and I felt a pop, and nothing really happened. And then we got stood up, and that was when I was like, "Oh, something's wrong. I can't stand on this foot. You know what's going on?" I hadn't even gotten really punched, so I was like, "Why are you doing the wobble dance?" And kind of just clinched in for another takedown. Just kind of sagged him down to the ground with 10 seconds left. And in my corner, they're like, "Dude, you tore your hamstring. What are we going to do?" I was like, coach, what's the game plan? And he was like, "Well, if you want to fight, then just stay there and try to get him down to the ground again, hit him with the right hand and put him down, and let's just finish it on the ground." Well, he saw I couldn't stand. I'm basically holding on to the cage, trying to keep myself up. And I still tried to get that little takedown. He stuffed it, and that was when the adrenaline wore off, and I was like, okay. So I curled over, and I even was like, he might just choke me out here, And then that was when I felt the punches rain down. I'm like, fuck, you're getting TKO'd. Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm laughing with you, not at you. I'm sorry.
Well, it's just funny to think about, It's just like, damn it, no. Of course he's going to hit you. It's a fight. And that kind of fueled the comeback, really, because that was the beginning of my story. And for 2 months, I was locked at the hips in a brace at 0 degrees. So all I could do was lay down or stand up straight for 2 months. And going to the bathroom, having a raised toilet seat, using a poop tower, I called it. It's not it's not good for the morale, but like it just kind of made me go crazy, which is kind of how I credit that tear I went on in Muay Thai and coming back to this MMA fight.
Oh yeah. This is a fight. I mean, granted, like you said, having that partial tear your sophomore year, and then finally the bubble on the tire popping. The way you expressed it was, I mean, you weren't able to display your full skills, and plus you have a lot more time added to just all around combat now. I mean, do you feel like you're going to be able to go out there and display your full set of skills come Friday night?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I've been developing to be a really well-rounded fighter. Hoping to have a short amateur career and go pro. Not getting any younger. I'm 27, so kind of gotta jump on the wagon soon. But no, I think I'll be able to show all the skills I've been developing, both on the feet and on the ground. It's always fun. Mike Waltz is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's dangerous off of his back, and I'm dangerous off of up top. That's my cup of tea. And that always makes for an interesting fight. And I guess we'll see where we lay on the feet, because every fight starts on the feet. So,
yeah. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to this fight. You brought up Mike. He's a guy that we've seen fight before here. And I think stylistically, it's a great matchup. I mean, you could say striker versus grappler, but you're not scared of grappling. Any exchanges there as well with your background in wrestling. So I think on paper, this is a great fight for you to show those skills. And, this is obviously the first time we've had a chance to talk, but I like to find myself as a fight nerd. So if I think someone has talent, I like to do my research. And you're a guy that I do think has a lot of talent here, and when things line up, could work out for you in the long run. So I'm looking forward to this fight here. How has the camp for this fight been? Any specific training partners you want to give a shout out to? I know there's a lot of guys you train with that are on this card.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Lee, me and him been going to hell and back this whole camp. Yep. And everything. And I know he says, "Well, what's a camp?" A camp's where I'm eating healthy and not drinking whiskey, Bobby.
Yeah.
I only do that for limited periods of time. So,
Yeah.
so yeah. But no, I've been training really hard with Bobby, Colin Huckbody, Tom Krenzel, Derek Varens, who's also on the card fighting JP St. Louis. That's a hell of a matchup. Both are strikers.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of fireworks in that fight, so I'm excited. And then Joey Hart, he's he's just a young, scrappy dude too. He's fun. He has a lot of heart, and he really gets after it. You know, obviously Chris and Ben are the mad scientists behind a lot of this work, and my girlfriend, my teammate Jess Pruitt, she's kind of in charge of my camp diet and everything. So she's mean, but but no, everybody around me is like a huge support. You know, like my best friends are coming out. My parents are coming up from the Ozarks, and I'm just in a really good place for all of my camps. So I really just definitely found my home. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's great to hear, and great to hear that you have such great support and a fucking a stacked fucking group of people that you're working with, dude. I mean, man, you listed off some of the best in Minnesota.
It's a murder.
Yeah,
Sure.
It is crazy, like, because even like running back to TBAs and stuff, there was some things that like I'd see my opponent doing in a fight before me. I'm like, wow, no, I suck at defending teeps. I suck at defending that. And come in the fight, that was what won the fight, is my defense on teeps. I'm like, no, I was really good at it. Just my teammates are that good. They just beat the shit out of me with stuff. So yeah, they might be bad at something, and also you go out and somebody throws the same thing. You're like, that was nothing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When sparring's hard, it makes the fight easy, and that definitely helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the fans, family, or anyone who has yet to buy tickets before we wrap it up?
Well, definitely don't want to miss this. This is going to be a hell of a show. Lots of fireworks. Can expect a lot of overhands from this gorilla over here. We're gonna have a lot of fun. The after party is gonna be a blast. So I think everybody should definitely come out, support your local fighters. And then also I want to thank my sponsors, Abominable Grip and Abomination Athletics, sending me all the stuff I need for my lifting side of camps and everything like that. So yeah. But other than that, thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Trash Talk's nothing without the fighters.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you guys have a good night.
Yeah, best of luck this Friday night, CJ. Look forward to seeing you compete. And like I said, I feel like they've had you chained up for a little bit here as far as MMA goes, and I'm excited to see them let you go.
Sounds good, man. I'll see you guys Friday. Have a good night, bud.